4-match winning run, or unbeaten run, I should say, away at Red Bull Arena as they take on NYCFC next.
We showed them a picture after New England of a mountain, and that's what we had. We had a mountain to climb. And you can't get to the top of Everest on your own. You've got to go every stage as a group together. You've got to help each other. We came out, we took some punches, we accepted the punches, and we all of a sudden started to play like a team. We had 3 weeks off and we put them through a real heavy workload, and I think we're beginning to bear the fruits of that. New York City, I think, one of the best footballing sides in the old conference. But we attacked this 3-game week with virtually with a fully fit squad. Picking the starting 11 is going to be massively difficult for me in all 3 games. But we go there full of confidence, and we go there with belief and a real momentum.
And it is indeed Inter Miami and New York City FC this evening from Red Bull Arena, a match that was moved to Red Bull Arena due to a rescheduling of a New York Yankees game. Welcome into the AutoNation Pre-Match Show. I'm Chris Wittyngham here with Fernando Fiore and Thomas Rongen, my radio broadcast partners. And guys, let's go and take a look at the last match for Inter Miami as they took on Nashville SC. It was a victory by 2 goals to 1, but it didn't come until the very end of the game. It was Inter Miami looking like they were going to hang on for another draw. Fernando, at one point you would have been satisfied with the draw, but then they only went and won it.
Hello guys, how you doing? I'm always satisfied with a draw when you are in trying to build that momentum for the team, and we know that we suffered a lot in the 6 games when we didn't have a good performance. So when you are in a good rolling way and having 2 wins and a draw, I will settle because I want to bring momentum and I want to bring, you know what?
Respect. And it is the highlights here that we'll take a look at. There, an early chance from Hani Mukhtar for Nashville SC. We started with Neville to create in the first half one of the few chances they had into Miami. The opening 45 minutes of play, that one from Lewis Morgan, saved from the Nashville keeper Joe Willis. But then Thomas, here would be the goal. Hani Mukhtar swing in the corner, and CJ Saban would not have hit.
Yeah, look at the run of play. Good ball in by Mukhtar, an outswinger, connects with Saban, just in between Figal and I think it's Matuidians. All of a sudden, against the run of play, 1-0, well executed set piece goal by Nashville.
And then again, this is happening many times to our team. We started the game going down at the scoreboard, and this is very difficult. But this time, what a goal from Higuain. Let me do this, guys. Bravissimo. What a pass from Higuain. Oh, my.
It's a lovely threaded through ball there into Gonzalo Higuain. He won his game on the season, and he drew him to Miami level. They pressed to try and get the winning goal, but it seemed as though entering the final minute of stoppage time, they'd have to settle for it, but instead, Fernando Higuain picking up Indiana Gonzalo.
Substitutions making a difference again. Fernando put all the right stop, so to speak. It's Federico and it's Indiana Gonzalo. Get this one for 2-1.
And speaking of Midfield, here is the Inter Miami manager ahead of this one tonight against New York City.
Look, obviously it's another big 3-game week for us, 2 at home, 1 away against three teams that are all important in different ways. New York City, I think, one of the best footballing sides in the old conference, who are obviously had a great season, and at home, is it 4-0, 5-0 the last 2 games at home, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we know that this is going to be one of our toughest games that we've played in this season so far. In terms of this weekend, like I said before, I think the style in which New York City play, I think, is as good as any style in the league. They have a really good fluid system. They've got a good, young, hungry team. Their front 4, maybe 5 with one of the midfield players, I think, is flexible, adaptable. They've got good imagination. And they pose a real threat. They pose a real threat in terms of sort of like goal-scoring opportunities, imagination to play and be off the cuff. And like I say, I think in terms of the teams that I've seen they're without doubt the best footballing side that I've seen in our conference in terms of the style of football that they play. Obviously really well coached, and I think this is probably going to be one of our toughest games in terms of where we're at. It'll be a good yardstick, be a good measurement for us, but we go there full of confidence, and we go there with belief and a real momentum.
And those the thoughts of the Inter Miami manager Phil Neville on New York City FC. We'll get to the opponent in just a second, but Thomas, I want to touch on the belief that Phil Neville mentioned and how with 4 matches unbeaten with some real confidence. How important is the turnaround just in the week-to-week performance?
It's huge, and what I've noticed from Phil Neville is not only great knowledge of his opponents, making the adjustments within his starting 11. From the formation to, the rotation obviously happens due to injuries or a tough stretch where you get a lot of games. Well done, Phil Neville. I love when he said, I showed him a mountain. We need to climb this mountain together. So in terms of team building, Chris, he's done an incredible job after that 5-0 shellacking that we all thought this team is done. And they're not. They're rallying behind him. He's making the right changes. And as you said, it all starts at the top with Phil Neville. So give Phil Neville a lot of credit for getting this team on a 4-game unbeaten run. Some wins as well. We're pretty darn good. And against Nashville, again, he showed us in a 3-4-3 to make some changes, to make the right subs, 2 substitutions that connect for the winner, obviously 2-1. And some really good individual performances now going forward, not just as a team, but DPs stepping up as well. I think Matuidi, obviously the big one in this last game. He was huge.
Now he got another problem, because now our coach got everybody fit, everybody looking for being in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And we talked about it during the press conference. Well, now you're like Pochettino in PSG. Now you have a big problem to see who's gonna be the starting 11, and that is a healthy competition during training, and then a healthy decision by Neville. But again, sometimes it's a problem, and you know better than both of us together that when you have so much talent and they're all fit, the rotation, it might be great for some players, but some players don't take it that well. If you're playing good, you want to keep playing there. But the coach is the coach, and is the one who knows better, and the one who understands, and the one who makes the decisions at the end. So let's see if he can get week in and week out the best 11 to start.
And Thomas, let's talk about Indiana Vassilev. He comes up with the goal in this one. The loanee from Aston Villa was it was kind of an unheralded addition in a way. He's got some U.S. youth national team history, but hadn't played a ton of first-team professional football. What have you seen from him in terms of what he's brought into the team? He gets the winning goal, and now he'll have some kind of confidence going forward. But what have you seen from him that's been a positive impact?
Let me echo Phil Neville in his post-game comments. Best player on the field in the second half, or when he came in, and he's absolutely right. He injected energy, which is important. He's a guy in that final third that can create both with and without the ball. Loves to go at people, combines with people as well. Is hard to mark, floats out wide, ends up centrally between 2 big guys and scores the winner with his head. Very positive, the player that was brought in midway through this season, and the way he's adjusted and what he brings, I haven't seen anybody else being able to do. Lewis Morgan showed some of that last year, and this could be Vassilev being the one that be on the bench or as a starter, giving us something, as I said, in the final third that's unpredictable, creative, and allows players around them to be part of it.
There are some people that they are asking right now, what was the thing that Carranza was taking out when he was coming out of the bus? He was holding a thermos and a mate. And now, next week, I'm going to bring a mate for everybody to know what it is. So it's a great infusion.
For all of us, or?
No, because due to COVID, we have to get our own straw. Yeah, we usually do sharing, but now you will have to bring your own mate, guys. But Carranza was coming out with a mate, very typical infusion in Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil, and Paraguay. I'm going to bring one next week.
Si, senor.
And we will see. We saw the shade of blue in the tunnel. It is Red Bull Arena is home, but for tonight, it is New York City FC who will play a home match here. When we come back, we'll get into New York City FC, one of the better sides in Major League Soccer, but in the middle of a very busy run of games. We'll talk about the opponent next.
AutoNation is growing. America's largest and most admired automotive retailer is hiring for all positions at over 300 locations. Sales, service, support staff, and more. Apply online today at jobs.autonation.com.
Today tastes like a fresh start. Like a hot spot. Tastes like a head in the clouds. And like 2 feet off the ground. Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
Stir things up with Espolón Tequila, the official tequila sponsor of Inter Miami CF. Made with hand-harvested 100% Blue Weber agave from Los Altos de Jalisco, Mexico. Grab an Espolón cocktail at a stadium bar today.
The next great flavor from Wendy's is here. The Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. With Wendy's signature Applewood smoked bacon smothered in our brand new bourbon bacon sauce. Because Wendy's goes all in on flavor, unlike other places.
Innovation is this team's secret sauce.
Isn't our secret sauce kind of like Thousand Islands?
Shh, they might be listening. Bill's right. Everyone, break your phone.
Get 'em on the table!
Okay. I don't have an insurance plan for my phone.
It's no secret. When it comes to flavor, we got you. With the new Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. Only at Wendy's.
Good music.
Welcome back to the AutoNation Pre-Game Show. Chris Wittyngham, Fernando Fiore, and Thomas Rongen on hand as we get you ready for Inter Miami and New York City FC. And tonight it is NYCFC who play their 5th match in 15 days.
Great.
They played in midweek against Pumas, the Mexican side in the new competition, the League's Cup. So we want to take a look at their last match in Major League Soccer, which is against Toronto FC, the second of 2 consecutive draws that they arrived off the back of. Let's go take a look at the highlights from BMO Field in Toronto. And it was New York City FC who got the scoring started very quickly in the 12th minute of play. One of their new signings, Santiago Rodriguez, hit it on the end of a lovely bit of combination play. Tati Castellanos feeding him there.
Tati Castellanos is definitely a great player. And wow, another very nice touch at the end of the play and send it back. Give me a hug, Thiago. Come on, give me a hug.
And Thiago Andrade with a good sign. Then a bit of pressure here before. Back pass there from Eric Zabaleta. And then Castellanos running in. Missouri trying plays it through the length of Iguano for 2-0. And in the 21st minute, they're ahead by 2 goals away from home.
Yeah, he's got 7 goals of the year, Chris. Yes, with Medina, he had 7 goals, got the 4th record. And you talk about Castellanos, 6 goals and 6 assists, scoring 32 goals of the year, which is 3rd best, and the plus-minus, Chris, is plus 14, which is the best in MLS.
But Toronto would find a way through. Leonard did his ball back from the floor to find Ricky Lorea. And this is where the vulnerabilities from NYCFC.
They got this in transition, and people are predicting sometimes without sense to what the biggest national team. Teams can get at this team, but it's a very good footballing and playing team. Gets numbers going forward in transition. He can hurt it.
And look at this new ball here from Ralph Riso. A charge on the 30, sits behind, and they'll slide it across here. Pasleo takes it out to Toronto.
Well, you try to make that high pressure and trying to get the people offside, but when you're not good, you're not well oiled, and that's what happens. You know, he gets the track, he doesn't work well, and the guy on both sides, but the guy who can get the ball and go to the as well. Finally make it. Pasleo will make a great difference last year. They're getting in a great form right now. So very similar goal, the second of New York City FC with the first goal of Toronto, but the 2-2, you know, when you're 2-0 up, it's kind of difficult to
Sean Johnson has come up with a big save there. It's a 2-2.
Yeah, it was a lovely pullback there from Tamar Lawrence for Nick De Leon, but it is a point for NYCFC. Here is the NYCFC manager, Ronnie Tylo, on Inter Miami.
As you said, they have some really quality players in the team. You know, all front players is really good. They have world-class players in the midfield. So we know that it's going to be tough, and that's what is tough in this league. That whoever you meet, you don't doesn't help to look at the table, because the league is showing how even everything is, and it's small details from winning and losing. So now they are on a run, haven't lost I think for 4 games. That's impressive. We know it's going to be tough tomorrow, but at the same time we are in a very good way as well. We enjoy every day training and playing now, and at home we should be dominant, and hopefully can get a same performance like we did on Wednesday.
Let me tell you this one, because in Spanish we said it's a tie with the flavor of a victory. Un empate con sabor a victoria. And that's exactly what happened to Toronto. You are going 2-0 in the first 20 minutes of the game, and then you tie the game. Then the team who's losing that advantage, it gets with a bad feeling. And then you go in an international tournament and you lose some penalty kicks at the end, then it's perfect for us. It's it's a feeling that you can beat this team that they might be looking for revenge, but also they are in a downhill. So we have to take advantage of that.
And Thomas, they're coming in off the back of a game in which they played until 1 in the morning on Thursday.
Yes.
Now a Saturday night turnaround. They didn't get to stay home, but we haven't necessarily seen Miami take advantage of those situational advantages, right? Where you're coming off rest, the opposition isn't. What is the key to making that tell? Is it pressing early? Is it taking advantage of a rotated squad? What's the thought there for you?
It's a combination of both. If I was Phil Neville, and I'm not, I would inject press, energy. There's tired legs, emotionally, because I've been there as a player, but also as a coach in CONCACAF at DC United, when you call a gut-wrenching loss, which they had, you know,
and go from coast to coast.
Emotionally, 5th game in 15 days, which is unheard of anywhere in the world, quite frankly. That's a game every 3 days. Recovery should take 72 hours, quite frankly, and then you go back again. So we're not sure what their lineup is going to be. We know the intent with their coach, the Norwegian coach, is try to play, but I would press early, and I almost want to make this game not tactically as we did against Nashville, but a little bit chaos, where they have to open up their legs and compete with us on each and every play. And I still think if you look at that lineup, there's going to be 7 or 8 guys that will start again, as they did 72 hours ago against Pumas, and lost in a very traumatic, emotional. I know, going back into the locker room, going back to practice the next day, you have to repair your team first and foremost. The day thereafter, you got to prep. Very tough for a coach and a team to come back from that. A great advantage for Inter Miami. And as you said, can they take care of this situational advantage, in my opinion, in terms of physicality and the mentality?
And not only that, it was again a game that they were winning at the very late stage of the game, again with a goal by Tati Castellanos, which is having a great season, but then Puma style, and we know that we are fighting against the Liga MX. We want to prevail. We want to put our MLS teams in the finals. We want to show that we are in the same level. But if we come up short, like New York City FC did in the penalty kicks, when they missed a lot of penalties, when they were ahead of the penalty kicks also, it has to take a toll in your confidence. And this is why we have to be today. We have to get that one and try to make it high pressure from the very beginning. If I would have been Phil Neville, like you said, and I'm not, I would put Vasilev right from the beginning and try to run up and down like he did in the last game. he will tire those legs of the defenders for the New York City team.
That being said, though, this is an incredibly strong team in NYCFC. They beat Orlando City by 5-0 earlier this season at Yankee Stadium. They then beat the defending champion Columbus Crew by 4-1. You mentioned some of the attacking talents. Ajuri Stradi, Castellanos, Thiago Andrade has been exceptional since arriving from Brazil, the same club that Gregory came for, Bahia in Brazil. So this is a very strong team. How do you slow them down? Phil Neville's talked a lot about numbers in central midfield in particular, because they like to build out. They like to play through Keaton Parks, through Nicolas Acevedo and Alfredo Morales. They have a lot of talent in central midfield. How do you slow it down, TR?
Well, you slow it down by mirroring their starting 11. They play out of a 4-2-3-1. Basically two holders. You just mentioned Parks. Can be Sands at times as well. He played in midfield or as a center back. They're very methodical in their build-up. They play very vertical. That Phil Neville talked about. They got energy. They're young. They're daring as well. So this is going to be a very good matchup for us to see where we're at after these 4 games. Because Chris, you mentioned, I think they're one of the best. I'm not saying the best, but one of the best footballing teams in MLS right now. I know New England is running away with it, but this team, game in, game out, shows certain qualities with their attacking fullbacks as well. It's a little suspect on the counter that if you don't deal with the Medinas of the world, you don't kill early plays through Parks, through Sands, Rodriguez, or even Medina on the outside, Maxi Morales as well, you are in trouble. You can't afford any isolations out wide. You can't afford, as I said again, to get that threesome that we just saw scoring a goal around the ball in the middle or the attacking third very often.
Talking about Frasquito Morales, he was the most experienced player on the team, 34, 35 years old, and he missed a penalty kick against Pumas, and he was always gonna get into the fight with the goalkeeper, because now Gonzalez, the goalkeeper of Pumas, was trying to do the same thing that Dibu Martinez was doing during Copa America with Argentina, trying to provoke the shooter and screaming at him, and this is gonna get more and more seen often. And Morales was really pissed when he missed the penalty kick, and he went and tried to get a fight. So they might be, in the state of mind that they are not completely fresh. And by the way, Thomas, I don't think this team is a lot of energy, because this is not the Red Bull from New York. This is the other team.
It is, as I said, one of the best footballing teams
because I think that the other ones drink Red Bull. Here we go. Okay, you got it. And the other thing that is very important, and this is serious. The other one was a joke. This is serious. They are not playing home. Yeah. Because we saw in the beginning of this show today that they are in an incredible thing, a streak. Being home, but they are not playing home today.
Well, and at Red Bull Arena where they're playing tonight, they've lost twice. It's the only home matches that they've lost this season. This is not really their home. They play at Yankee Stadium in normal times. They open it to full capacity in midweek, but in their home matches at Yankee Stadium, massive goal difference, 3 wins and a draw. They're really good. At Red Bull Arena, it's 3 wins and 2 losses, so they're a little bit more vulnerable. I think they're used to playing on what is the most unique surface in the league. It's in a baseball outfield. It's smaller dimensions. They know how to play at home there, but at Red Bull Arena, it's a bit more even playing field.
Yeah, it certainly is a more even playing field, and we are 2-3 on the road as well, Chris. We're pretty
good. It's a good record in MLS.
Yeah.
And coming up next, we'll continue to break this matchup down. We'll bring you the Inter Miami starting 11, the changes into this lineup. That's coming up next. You're watching the AutoNation Pre-Match Show. Inter Miami away at NYCFC tonight.
The school bus.
The Zach wagon.
Wally.
No matter what you call your car or why you're letting it go, AutoNation will buy it, and you don't have to buy one from us. We're paying top dollar right now. So go to AutoNation.com or come see us for a super easy appraisal. Get paid on the spot, and you can deposit it the same day. Visit any AutoNation store or AutoNation.com. What drives you drives us.
For the community.
Because now I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
To protect my patients.
Because I wanted to protect myself.
So I could go visit my mom.
To protect my husband.
I said yes to the COVID-19 vaccine because I have been the one present in the room with a patient's last breaths.
if more people were vaccinated, we could put an end to this pandemic and get back to some sense of normalcy.
Today tastes like a fresh start, like a hot spot. Tastes like a head in the clouds, and like 2 feet off the ground. Today tastes like a Sunday ritual, and it never tasted this good.
Rhythm. It flows through all of us. But rhythms change. That's why Ford SUVs are built to match your tempo.
The next great flavor from Wendy's is here. The Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. With Wendy's signature applewood smoked bacon smothered in our brand new bourbon bacon sauce. Because Wendy's goes all in on flavor, unlike other places.
Innovation is this team's secret sauce.
Isn't our secret sauce kind of like Thousand Island?
Shh, they might be listening. Bill's right. Everyone, break your phone.
Get him on the table! I don't have an insurance plan for my phone.
It's no secret. When it comes to flavor, we got you. With the new Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. Only at Wendy's.
Inter Miami away at NYCFC tonight. Welcome into the AutoNation Pre-Match Show. Chris Wittyngham, Fernando Fiore, and Thomas Rongen getting you ready for this one. You can watch it here on the Inter Miami CF app with Andres Cordero, Ray Hudson, and Kalen Kyle on the commentary. You can listen to it here on the app as well with us on the commentary. Thomas, Fernando, and myself will bring you the audio commentary here on the Inter Miami CF app. Let's get into the starting lineup for this one for Inter Miami as they take on NYCFC tonight. And it is the one change from the team that beat Nashville SC at home last time out. We're calling it a 4-3-3, a change in system from the last match, with the lone change being Victor Ulloa coming in for Christian Macun. So here's how it looks. Nick Marsman in goal. Leardan, Figal, Gonzalez Pires, and Gibbs right to left across the back. In central midfield, Ulloa, Gregory, and Matuidi. Lewis Moore right, Rodolfo Pizarro down the left with Gonzalo Higuain up top. Now, Fernando, we talked about how this might be different for Inter Miami going into this game. They kind of go with three hardworking midfielders in the middle to keep it solid and almost negate what NYCFC do through the middle.
Well, you know, guys, I told you already, I like the combination of Ulloa and Gregory. So now we got Matuidi in the mix. So I don't know how it's going to work. I like it with just two, Gregory and Ulloa. Now, Matuidi is playing really well after he was benched. And by the way, he was in the press conference also last Thursday. And he said he was very honest. He said, listen, guys, I haven't been playing good before. That's why they benched me. And this is a guy who is from France, who is a world champion, that he have a ton of experience, that play at Juventus. And he says, listen, I wasn't playing the level that the coach wanted me to play, the level that my team is wanting to play, and not in the level of the MLS need me to play. So I was benched. Now I'm back. I'm playing better. I feel confident. I don't know how it's going to work with Gregory, Ulloa, and Matuidi. I will have to wait.
Yeah, first and foremost, you're going to stop the other opponent of playing. That's the game plan, obviously. And then you allow within those threes, and you say, you know what, pick your spots going forward. And if you look at a monster game that Matuidi had. And by the way, he starts the comeback with a great assist, the clinical finish of Higuain at 1-1. He also tracks back one time in a 1v1 situation and prevents Nashville of scoring a goal as well. So within those three, they all have great range. They're good passers within their position. And it's just a matter of, you know what, when the ball turns over, whomever's in a more advanced position, go join Higuain as well, and let Pizarro play a little bit out to in underneath, allowing Gibbs, who's so good in making well-timed runs going forward. I like this 4-2-3-1, mirroring the opponent. And then, you know what, within the game, which Phil Neville has done, he doesn't shy away from changing tactics and systems and substitutions. And he knows if it's a tight game with tired legs against this team that's emotionally burned in the last few games, that he has the advantage when he brings his subs on versus the other team.
And who's the sub that we want to see?
Well,
Indiana Jones, because he can go all the way to the Raider of the Lost Ark.
Well, you can also make an argument for Federico Higuain as well, given how well he's played. He provides the assist for the winning goal as well. It's a great ball in. But would you say at this point, Thomas, that is Inter Miami's greatest strength, using the substitutes to change the game in the final half hour? That's how they've gotten results in recent times.
Yes, they have. And that's Phil Neville's strength right now, I think, is that he looks at the opponent, designs a game plan early on through 60 or 70 minutes where he says, I want to keep this tight regardless home and away. They stopped Nashville playing. It wasn't pretty. And all of a sudden in the second half, some things are changing. And the changes happen with substitutions and within the system as well. I think that's a recipe of success that he should stay with right now. We're all saying, oh, we should get better footballers, or why we have these three at midfield that are more defenders, yes or no. Yeah. It has worked for him, and it might continue to work going forward.
What about Pizarro? He's doing a great job since he came back.
His first half is one of the best.
He was also very honest Thursday, saying something like, hey, you know why we changed so much from the 6 games that we didn't win and now the 4 games that we didn't lose? It's because before we were trying to save by ourselves, Hey, listen, I'm doing my good thing and that's it. Now we are fighting for each other. This is a great thing, and that's very much a responsibility of the coach. Phil Neville says, listen, guys, you can't save by yourself. We are a team. We have to go. And Pizarro was probably one of the most improvements over the last 4 games.
And how do you bring a lift out of a team, Thomas? Because they had lost 6 in a row. They had lost 5-0 at home. And yes, there was a story that Phil Neville told about putting a picture of Mount Everest. It's a mountain to climb. But that's something you say. But every day you've got to go out and do it. How do you manage to bring a team out, as Phil Neville has done, from what is a very difficult situation?
Not easy. I failed twice. I succeeded twice. I coached 4 MLS teams.
So you're 50%.
I failed at Chivas USA as their first coach in an expansion team year as well. 5th game with one draw, 4 losses. We lost 5-1, and I did whatever I could. We went bowling. We went hard. We went team building and climbing trees. We did everything that I thought as a coach would bring this team back together. I didn't show them a mountain, but it was a mountain to climb, and I failed. The team didn't respond. In New England, we went through a stretch early on when I was brought in 1997, and I was able to salvage it. We went yoga. We did hula hoop. We did all sorts of things to break certain monotonous losing. And the team responded there to my humor, sarcastically, being Dutch, and somehow I made 1 or 2 changes as well within the 11, and here we went. We made the playoffs.
Great story.
So, you know what? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I know what the circumstances are. He was behind the 8 ball, and I again have to give Phil Neville, who's coached on the women's side predominantly, he's been an assistant coach, a lot of credit, because it all starts at the top. You walk in that locker room each and every morning, and you're responsible for 40 people. The assistant coaches, the data analysis guy, the physical therapist guy, and you have to be the leader each and every day. And that's what Phil Neville has done, and this team has bought into it. Well done, Phil Neville, because not an easy task.
Now, we knew that, because at the beginning of the season, he says, I'm in charge, and I'm taking care of every single player. I call him and ask him how he feels. He's the kind of coach that he's very much involved in a day-to-day situation and very, very concerned about his players and the staff. So kudos to him.
Never lost faith in anybody.
Yeah, and was tasked with also overturning cultural changes here at Inter Miami and trying to get the entire team on side. But ultimately, it's easier said than done. And Phil Neville, over the course of the last 4 games, taking 8 points, and also against some decent opposition. Played another tough team tonight, but a win against Nashville, point against Orlando, away from home. They've done well against top-level opposition. Montreal has been a bogey team for Inter Miami, and then they went and beat them at DRV PNK Stadium. So New York City has been another. Miami have yet to beat New York City FC during their run in MLS. They lost at MLS's back, and then here at Driving Stadium as well, a game where there were 5 goals in the first half. It was probably the most entertaining game of the season for the neutral, but for us, it was a dropped result. But
painful.
For Inter Miami, how do you kind of climb another mountain against a New York City FC team that have so many good attacking options, Fernando?
Well, let me put it this way. Every time that you have an opposition like this that you have to try to overcome, Inter Miami did well somehow. And I think it's going to be the day today also that they're going to be able to control the pace, control the rhythm, and get the New York City FC. What you said is very, very interesting before. You're not going from one stadium to another stadium, from one pitch to another pitch. You are going from very different pitch, like it's the Yankee Stadium. I've been there many times watching this team play. It's a completely mess. Even not only the pitch, the fans, everything is kind of weird. And then you go to a regular stadium like Red Bull Arena, which is, I have the chance to be there a million times also, and it's a fantastic stadium. And
but it's normal. It's normal. Whereas Yankee Stadium is just completely crazy.
Right.
NYCFC know how to manage it more than anybody else.
For Inter Miami, going to Yankee Stadium is kind of strange. Now we are even onto that one. So I think that today we gonna get you, New York City FC. We gonna get you finally today, and we're gonna get a revenge on that horrible performance last night.
Now, coming up next, we'll take a look at our 4 keys to the match for this one. Inter Miami away at New York City FC. Red Bull Arena is the venue for this one, rescheduled due to some Yankees baseball.
Great.
They play on Monday, and so it will be Inter Miami away at Red Bull Arena this evening to take on NYCFC. We're back on the AutoNation Pre-Match Show right after this.
Sure are a lot of different drivers out there, and AutoNation is here for every one of them. The go-getters, blinksters, haulers, even rock stars. We're America's largest and most admired automotive retailer, and we love getting you on the road. So to all the on-timers, hard workers, and get-out-of-towners, keep at it. What drives you drives us. AutoNation.
Rhythm. It flows through all of us. But rhythms change. That's why Ford SUVs are built to match your tempo.
Today tastes like a fresh start. Like a hot spot. Tastes like a head in the clouds. And like 2 feet off the ground. Today tastes like a Sunday ritual. And it never tasted this good.
The next great flavor from Wendy's is here. The Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. With Wendy's signature Applewood smoked bacon smothered in our brand new Bourbon Bacon sauce. Because Wendy's goes all in on flavor, unlike other places.
Innovation is this team's secret sauce.
Isn't our secret sauce kind of like Thousand Island?
Shh, they might be listening. Bill's right. Everyone, break your phone.
Get him on the table! I don't have an insurance plan for my phone.
It's no secret. When it comes to flavor, we got you. With the new Bourbon Bacon Cheeseburger. Only at Wendy's.
AutoNation is growing. America's largest and most admired automotive retailer is hiring for all positions at over 300 locations. Sales, service, support staff, and more. Apply online today at jobs.autonation.com.
Pre-match show, Chris Wittyngham, Fernando Fiore, and Thomas Rongen getting you ready for Inter Miami and New York City FC. Away from home at Red Bull Arena, Inter Miami go. They'll come back later on next week. It's a busy week. Wednesday night against Chicago Fire, and then next Saturday night against Toronto FC. But tonight, guys, it is Inter Miami away at NYCFC. Let's get into our Ford keys to the match for this one. Thomas Rongen, if you're looking at this one, how is Inter Miami going to pick up a point, maybe 3 points, if they're really putting a solid performance? What is the key to it for you?
Tactically sound again, which they've been the last 4 games, which means initially stopping the opponent from playing. Work yourself slowly on the road into this game. Keep this tight. And eventually, I think pressing, if it's on, will start to happen. I don't think it will start early on, although you might think with the 5th game in 15 days for NYCFC, you should start that way, but I think it's going to be a little bit more conservative. Again, compact defensively, not allowing the other team to penetrate us as they've done so often prior to this 4-game unbeaten stretch, and let your substitutes again make the difference late in the game.
Fernando, 4 keys to the match for yourself.
My key will be concentration, trying to be from the very first minute on top of this, because as we saw before with the video, they can score early in the matches. So we have to be fully concentrate, and especially, like I said before, because now it's a different midfield that is not used to play together with Gregory, Matuidi, and Ulloa. They are very capable, but I don't know how they're gonna, blend those 3 in the middle. So they have to be really, in a high pitch concentration. And like Thomas said before, let's see who's gonna go. If you get a chance, you go Matuidi, because you can make a great pass into Higuain. If you can do the same thing, Ulloa, you can do it like you did, last time, on make a perfect cross for the goal. But then again, if it's Gregory, go. But watch out, you can't get 2 guys too much up front and leave your duties of defense and trying to control the midfield.
Now, Fernando mentioned a player who I don't think we've discussed enough. He's the big name, DP, Gonzalo Higuain, scores another goal, and I was looking at the MLS goal-scoring charts. He's now on to 8. There are 6 players in Major League Soccer that have more goals than Gonzalo Higuain in this season. They are Gustavo Bo and Adam Buxa of New England, Raul Ruiz-Diaz, Chicharito, Ola Kamara of DC, Daniel Shalhoub of Sporting Kansas City, and Nani of Orlando. 6 players that have more goals than Gonzalo Higuain in this season. Thomas, he took his goal really well last time. It was a great finish from a great through ball from Matuidi. He scored 3 in his last 4. He's starting to hit his heights.
Clinical. The way he opened up, shouldering the defender inside of the left foot, and then boom, side netting with the right. Clinical. But also throughout the game, Chris, more intent to be directed to goal. He had 3 or 4 or 5 shots. Some got blocked. So I like the attitude. I like his hustle as well, away from the ball. And it's clearly our go-to guy, let's be real honest. Whereas New York's got 3 guys, 2 with 7, 1 with 6, and they're more versatile. We liked for somebody else to step up and score as well. But Higuain has been stellar so far this year. And as you said, only 6 other players in MLS ahead of him. With a team, by the way, that's, although we've been on a 4-game unbeaten streak that really has struggled throughout, not easy to find chances, not easy to finish. Obviously, Higuain right now doing what a DP is supposed to do.
Yeah, but what did Phil Neville say during the press conference? He said, we don't want to depend on Higuain only to score, because he's the only guy who scores week in and week out. We need to get more from different players, and especially from set pieces. We created, he said it that, and he was very honest too. We create so many set pieces during every single match, and we don't convert. And he said it. He said, Phil Neville, you are absolutely right, my friend. We need more goals from LGP. We need more goals from whoever goes forward, like Shawcross, and trying to connect those wonderful crosses from Federico, from Ulloa, from Morgan. So many corner kicks, and we still don't convert enough goals from set pieces. So yes, Higuain, but hey, listen, we need other guys to step up and convert also.
And Thomas, where are those goals going to come from? If there's somebody else in this team, who would you tip?
To be real honest with you guys, yes, I would say the same thing. I would like to get 2 or 3 other guys. I just don't see right now that midfield triangle has struggled with creation, let alone finishing. So it's got to come from your 2 wide players, which is Morgan, who, by the way, last year was our leading goal scorer and assistman as well. So I look at Morgan first and foremost. I look at Pizarro not only being the creative force, but to also chip in a goal here and there. So That's what I'm looking for. And you're absolutely right, Fernando.
Thank you, sir.
Scoring goals of set pieces, which we haven't done this year, of a corner, I think, with LGP, who, by the way, was a monster in the last game, and with the guys like Figal. We should have opportunities on set pieces to get something going, as we did through the run of play on the winner with Indiana Vassilev.
Now, guys, we are very close to kickoff. Here we have the television commentary for here in the app, of the radio commentary for here in the app. Let's get score predictions for this one. Thomas Rongen, how do you see this one going tonight at Red Bull Arena?
I think it's going to go our way in terms of a draw right now against one of the better teams, a fatigue team, but still with great depth. As you can see in their 11, they made 6 changes, but still a pretty darn good team. I think a draw on the road would be a not a victory, but would be a sound, successful trip.
Well, I'm going to go against the current. Usually I like to go against everything. Every time I say I want to, settle for a draw, this time I say that we're going to win 2-1.
Wow. Fernando Fiore going with a big call. I'll agree with Thomas. I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
At Red Bull Arena. I think that'd be a good result. You mentioned as well.
Oh, I think it's going to be a good result too.
Sure, but you mentioned as well how Miami controlled the game last time out. Their best possession figure this season, they kept 60% of the ball. Look at all the other underlying numbers, touches, carries into the attacking third. Inter Miami coming off their best performance of the season, a victory over Nashville SC. That'll do it for us here on the AutoNation Pre-Game Show. Coming up next, we'll have the calls, television, and audio of this one. Inter Miami looking to continue their 4-match unbeaten run. NYCFC have a 5-match unbeaten run of their own, but they've drawn a couple of lower table sides against Toronto and against Chicago in their last 2 matches. They've had to settle for the point in those 2. Should be a fun one tonight for Red Bull Arena. You've been watching the AutoNation Pre-Game Show.
Easy on the eyes, moving slowly like shadows in the night. There will be a reckoning, there will be a rise, something like you've never seen. The time has come. If looks could kill, it looks good, it looks good. If looks could kill. If looks could kill, it looks good, it looks good. Looks could kill. You'd be dead right now.
Cheeseburger with Wendy's signature Applewood smoked bacon smothered in our brand new bourbon bacon sauce. Because Wendy's goes all in on flavor, unlike other places.
Innovation is this team's secret sauce.
Isn't our secret sauce kind of like Thousand Island?
Shh, they might be listening. Bill's right. Everyone, break your phone.
Get him on